Hi, everybody. Raven fans, Oriole fans, thank you for joining us here on our Raven Sports podcast instant reaction to the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens that just finished up downtown Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. And by the way, they're not a very good bank. For the record, I had them for a while. They're not a very good bank, but not a here nor there. But I don't think they're a great bank there. Anyway, off of that, little bit of levity because obviously the result, Ravens all over Denver today, 41-10. This was a good old-fashioned butt-kicking. This one, I think, from minute one was never in doubt. I think the Ravens had total control of this one all the way through. I don't think at any point I didn't feel like Denver was going to come back and do anything. Clearly, two teams in totally different talent classes, two good coaches. I thought Denver, if they showed anything, they showed discipline on defense, stand in their lanes on defense. They probably look better than the Ravens have all season. They just don't have much talent there to stop a Lamar Jackson and all the skilled people that the Ravens have. But I don't – this one was never in doubt, obviously, 41-10. Ravens in complete control of this. They score the first time – get a takeaway early, intercepted Bo Nix in the first quarter. They go ahead, get the ball back, score, and it was just scoring all the way through this one, 41-10. Looked better, I think, all from the start. I would say the only thing I would say, I don't know how much of this is an inferior opponent and how much of this is that's how much better. Because Denver, I mean, this is not the class of the Ravens. But did get it, 41-10, outstanding stuff for the Ravens. So let's go over this real quick here. Started with that. Genesis Notary Services /Facebook.com. Definitely, you can check us out on Facebook and all of our social. You can definitely check us out on Facebook. Stamping documents with care in the Shenandoah Valley area. Definitely check us out. See Charles Harris. We are Legal Shield. Definitely send me a message on Facebook. Put Charles Harris, Legal Shield, Winchester, Virginia. You can put that on Facebook. I'll pop right up anywhere. Also on LinkedIn, etc. If you want to go ahead and reach out, save money with legal fees. Absolutely will do that for you as well. Charles Harris. RavenResports.company.site. You can get Ravens hats. I don't have this one on the site anymore, but I just like the private stash here. Terps. We got that as well. Maryland Terps are starting tomorrow in basketball. So definitely we have that as well. The video actually is coming finally. So thank you for that. Check that out. Maryland Terps basketball preview. Definitely check that out. Also to our best of 2024 video is on December 31st on New Year's Eve. All right. So definitely let's go ahead and check this out here. Ravens. Derrick Henry looks like a cheat code in the red zone. These run plays don't even look competitive by NFL defenses. A 2,000-yard season may be in the offing. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, how often can you say about 2,000-yard season? I don't think there's any question. He could have had more rush yards today. The score was so out of balance. There was no reason, in my opinion, to keep him and Lamar out there, especially with that. Some guys got some rest on defense late in the game. No reason for that. But in the red zone, it's not even competitive. I mean, these zone runs, they're nowhere near him. If he runs up the middle, which he's running over them, when they're getting inside the 20, they got 7 points because of Derrick Henry every time. So definitely, I think a 2,000-yard season is in the offering. I certainly think he's in the MVP conversation. He may not get MVP, but certainly Offensive Player of the Year. Generally, what that is the best offensive player that's not quarterback. So generally, MVP is kind of seen as a quarterback award. That's kind of seen as the best offensive player that's not quarterback, wide receiver or whatever, tight end or whatever. I definitely think all that's in the offering for Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry, was just it's just unbelievable. His first couple games here. Defense didn't solve all of his problems today, but it definitely looked. Eddie Jackson and David Ojabo were healthy scratches, which is interesting for Ojabo, especially there's 2 weeks, there's 2 games in a row. Eddie Jackson's totally understandable. He was torched all last week, all last game. There was a couple misalignments I saw. I thought definitely you could see Denver was much better than the Ravens were at that, but it didn't matter. A couple big plays over the middle. I would say, though, however, the energy was much higher, much higher. Marcus Williams, right off the bat, no question whether he played today. He came right in. Harbaugh sent him a message, hey, we're going to sit you next week. You're not going to play. He played this week, first play of the game. Right, tackle for a loss in the backfield. Definitely the energy was better at the very least. You can definitely see communication was much better at the very least. They did get some breaks because Knicks, I think, missed some throws, etc. They weren't playing against a great quarterback, great wide receivers, etc. But that said, I thought it looked a lot better overall. So definitely the energy was there. Still some issues. I think a better team, maybe you have more problems, but definitely much better in terms of effort, at least in this one. Zay Flowers. I think Zay Flowers might be having the best receiving yards season in Ravens history. Michael Jackson, all the way back in 1996 from Vinny Testaverde quarterbacking. I looked it up. That's the best receiving season from a receiver that we ever had. I think now Mark Andrews holds the record currently. He had 1,300 plus yards as a tight end. But from a receiver, it's been since 96 since we've had like a 1,200 yard receiver. So I think we're going to get one this year. Flowers definitely has arrived. He definitely has total command as the number one wideout. He's the first target in the offense, and they're definitely throwing a lot. Lamar definitely, again, had another big day. He had not quite at 300. I think it was at 280 today for Lamar. So Lamar obviously was outstanding. A little bit of a concern. Harbaugh kept him out of a couple practices this week, but it was fantastic. Unlike last week, I thought the offensive line was solid. They didn't get pushed around like they did last week. Last week, that was awful, plain old awful. They got pushed around. I don't think it was fantastic by any stretch. I think some people are going to overstate it a bit. Lamar, to me, he still looks like he's having to throw too quickly at times. It definitely does. Now, he's so elusive. He can get away. He can move from guys. They don't have a tremendous pass rush in Denver. To me, it still looks like he doesn't look like he has clean pockets enough for me, but I thought it was much better today. They weren't shoved around the whole game. That was last week. They were kind of shoved around. This week, not at all. They were competitive. I thought the offensive line, for the most part, did a good job. Defensive line, I almost want to give them a pass. I mean, they have a lot of injuries on the defensive line. I mean, you had no Michael Pierce. You had no Brent Urban. You had no and who else was there? I think it was Brent. Those two for sure, I think, were out. But you had three. I think it was three. I think Travis Jones, I think, is battling an injury. So you had injuries. Considering all that, you had Chris Wormley, Joseph Tapu on the active roster. They elevated them. I can live with that. I mean, they only gave up a few points anyway today. Stopped the run, gave up a few yards, but good considering all the injury. Five, definitely. Secondary looked completely different today. Completely different today with Marlon Hunt. Marlon especially. They are really, that's the real upgrade from what I can see. Nate Wiggins played today as well, back healthy on the field. Marcus Williams back on the field. Got in the doghouse, got in the bench last week. Today looked like Marcus Williams more today. Looked like more active on the field. Finally, we didn't give up 300 yards passing in a game, which is good. I almost want to say that tongue in cheek. That you should be expecting that, but no way today was he going to give up. No way today they didn't give up 300 yards. Broncos just not on the same level as the Ravens. Not on the same level. Not as much talent in any stretch. Disciplined team, actually won some games, played a lot of opponents like them. They have trouble with offense, and because they are so disciplined and etc., they can win. Not in the Ravens class anyway. So definitely if they were trying to find that out. So Ravens today, big time win, 41-10 over the Denver Broncos. Quick turnaround. So we got a game on Thursday night, Amazon. Programming note, podcast on before the game, Thursday night. We're going to be on at 7 o'clock on Thursday. We're going to go ahead and go over. You can check us out before and after the game. So we're not going to have the podcast on Wednesday night or early Thursday morning. Right before the game on Thursday night, we're going to go ahead and have the podcast right then. I'm debating on doing it live. I don't think I'll be doing. I don't think it'll be. It's hard for me to do it live like I do Sunday because I have kids and all the other stuff and blah blah blah. So I'm debating if it's possible. I'll do. It may be a live broadcast. I don't know, but I usually record and just upload. So, but we will see you on Thursday night for our podcast. Definitely Ravens 41-10, decisive, pull their record to 6-3 as they go ahead next week on Thursday Night Football against the Cincinnati Bengals, who were victorious today. So thank you very much for joining us. You have a great rest of your day.